$100 billion under management, 85 companies in a single portfolio, a net worth exceeding $14 billion. These are not the statistics of a tech founder in Silicon Valley or a hedge fund titan in Manhattan. These numbers belong to Smith, operating from Austin, Texas. He built the largest African-American-owned private equity firm in history. He did it without inheritance, without famous connections, without the traditional networks of Wall Street power. Most Americans have never heard his name. By the end of this story, you will never forget it. When people think of Texas wealth, they think of oil rigs and cattle ranches. They picture white men in cowboy hats making deals over barbecue. They are looking at the surface. Beneath the stereotype lies a financial empire that makes traditional Texas fortunes look modest. Robert F. Smith, the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Vista Equity Partners, has built the largest private equity firm owned by an African American in the United States. His fund manages over $100 billion in assets. That is not a typo. $100 billion. To put that in perspective, that figure exceeds the market capitalization of major American corporations. It positions Vista among the most powerful investment firms on the planet. To understand the scale, consider this. Vista Equity Partners controls more capital than the entire gross domestic product of countries like Kenya or Guatemala. Smith did not inherit this wealth. He did not marry into it. He engineered it from the ground up using technical brilliance, financial acumen, and relentless discipline. This is the story of how one man built a financial dynasty. Robert Frederick Smith was born in Denver, Colorado in 1962. His parents were both educators. His mother held a doctorate, and his father was a school principal. They raised him to believe that education was the foundation of everything. He took that important lesson deeply to heart. Smith earned his undergraduate degree in chemical engineering from Cornell University. He then earned an MBA from Columbia Business School. But what set him apart was not just his credentials, it was how he used them. After Columbia, Smith did not follow the typical path into investment banking. He joined Kraft General Foods as an engineer. He spent years understanding how companies actually worked from the inside. He learned about supply chains, manufacturing processes, and operational efficiency. This was not glamorous work, but it was foundational. He understood operations at a molecular level. His next move was to Goldman Sachs. He joined the technology investment banking division in San Francisco during the 1990s. This was the dawn of the tech boom. Smith advised on mergers and acquisitions for some of the most important technology companies in the world. He carefully watched how value was created and destroyed. At Goldman Sachs, Smith developed a thesis that would become the cornerstone of his empire. He noticed that enterprise software companies, the firms that build essential programs businesses use to manage payroll and compliance, were consistently undervalued. Wall Street chased consumer tech. Smith saw opportunity in the unglamorous backbone of corporate America. In 2000, Robert F. Smith made his move. He left Goldman Sachs and founded Vista Equity Partners in Austin, Texas. The timing seemed terrible. The dot-com bubble had just burst. Technology companies were collapsing everywhere. Smith saw exactly what others missed. He raised his first fund with $1 billion. In the wreckage of the tech crash, that was audacious. Enterprise software was certainly not exciting, but it made serious money. Steady, predictable, recurring revenue from companies that could not function without these tools. Vista's strategy was surgical. Smith did not just buy companies, he transformed them. His engineering background gave him an edge. He could identify inefficiencies that finance-trained investors would miss. He built a playbook of over 400 best practices that Vista applies to every acquisition. This is operational private equity. It is not about financial engineering or loading companies with debt. It is about making businesses run better, faster, significantly more profitable. The results spoke for themselves. Vista's first fund returned over 30% annually to investors. investors. In an industry where 20% is considered excellent, Smith was in a different category entirely. Word spread. The next fund was larger. Then the next. Each successive fund grew larger as institutional investors clamored for access. By the mid-2000s, Vista had established itself as the dominant force in enterprise software investing. Smith was not competing with other minority-owned firms. He was competing with the giants of private equity, and he was clearly winning. His Austin headquarters became a magnet for the best talent in the industry. He recruited engineers, data scientists, and operators who shared his obsession with operational excellence. The firm developed proprietary analytical tools that could evaluate potential acquisitions with a precision that competitors simply could not match. Vista's success was not just about buying right, it was about building right. Smith invested in the employees of his portfolio companies, training programs, career development, operational support. He understood that software companies are only as valuable as the people who build and maintain the products. This created a flywheel effect. Better operations led to better results. Better results attracted better investors. Better investors meant larger funds. Larger funds meant bigger acquisitions. The machine was rapidly accelerating, and Robert F. Smith was just getting started. Today, Vista Equity Partners manages assets exceeding $100 billion. That figure places Vista in the upper echelon of global private equity. To understand what that means, consider that Vista controls more capital than many sovereign wealth funds. This is institutional power. The firm's portfolio includes over 85 enterprise software companies. These are not household names. They are the invisible infrastructure that keeps corporate America running. Payroll systems, compliance software, data management platforms, healthcare administration tools. Every time a hospital processes a patient record or a corporation runs payroll, there is a significant chance Vista-owned software is involved. Some of their notable acquisitions include Tibco Software, purchased for $4.3 billion, Ping Identity, Infoblox, and Aptio. These names may not appear on billboards, but they generate billions in recurring revenue. Subscription models mean predictable cash flow. Predictable cash flow means predictable returns. Vista's returns have been legendary. Forbes has reported that Smith's personal net worth exceeds $14 billion, making him the wealthiest Black American in the country. But net worth figures fluctuate. What does not fluctuate is control. Smith controls the largest minority-owned private equity firm in history. No one else is even close. The comparison is staggering. Vista manages more capital than many prestigious Wall Street firms with century-long histories. Smith built this in just over 2 decades. He did it without a famous last name, without inherited connections, and without the traditional networks that lubricate deals in the financial world. His approach rewrote the rules. Traditional private equity often focuses on financial restructuring, cut costs, load debt, and extract value. Smith focused on the opposite: invest in operations, invest in people, build value. The results proved his thesis correct. Vista itself has become a training ground for Black executives. Smith has made deliberate efforts to recruit, develop, and promote diverse talent within the firm. This creates a pipeline. The next generation of fund managers, the next generation of deal makers will include people who learned the craft at Vista. This is ecosystem building. Smith is not just accumulating wealth, he is constructing the infrastructure for others to follow. He is proving that the path exists, and he is widening that path for everyone behind him. Robert F. Smith lives with a discretion that matches his power. Unlike celebrities who broadcast their wealth on social media, Smith operates in the shadows of high finance. Public records and rare interviews reveal a lifestyle befitting the wealthiest Black American in history. His primary residence is a sprawling estate in Austin, Texas. The property reflects his personality, understated from the outside, extraordinary within. He also maintains properties in other locations, including a residence in Malibu, California. These are not flashy mansions designed to impress Instagram followers. They are fortresses of privacy for a man who values discretion above display. Smith married Hope Dworachik, a former model and entrepreneur, in 2015. Their wedding in Italy reportedly cost several $1,000,000. The guest list read like a summit of American power. Guests included business titans, political figures, and entertainment legends. When you can assemble that kind of crowd, you are operating at a level most people cannot comprehend. The couple has children together. Smith has been deliberate about keeping his family out of the spotlight. He understands that wealth creates exposure. Exposure creates vulnerability. He protects his family the same way he protects his investments. Carefully, strategically, completely. His wealth transfer strategy reflects his engineering mindset. He has structured his affairs to ensure that his fortune creates impact across generations. The Giving Pledge commitment means the majority will flow to philanthropy. He has also been clear that he wants his children to understand work, discipline, and contribution. This is not old money complacency. This is new money with a plan. Smith's choice of Texas as his headquarters was deliberate. Austin has emerged as a technology hub, rivaling Silicon Valley. But there is something deeper. Texas represents a new geography of Black wealth. Atlanta has long been called the Black Mecca, but Texas is rising. Houston has produced generations of Black entrepreneurs in energy and medicine. Dallas has a growing class of Black executives in finance and telecommunications. Austin has become a magnet for Black professionals in technology. Smith saw this before others did. He planted his flag in Texas when the conventional wisdom pointed elsewhere. Vista's presence in Austin has created a gravitational pull. Other firms have followed. Talent has migrated. An ecosystem has emerged. Smith did not just build a company, he helped build an economic region. But the numbers only tell part of the story. Robert F. Smith's legacy extends far beyond spreadsheets and returns. On May 19, 2019, he delivered the commencement address at Morehouse College in Atlanta. What happened next stunned the nation. Standing before nearly 400 graduating seniors, Smith made an announcement that no one expected. He would personally pay off the entire student loan debt of the class of 2019. The graduates sat in disbelief. Some began to cry. Parents in the audience collapsed into each other's arms. The gift totaled approximately $34 million. It was the largest single donation to a historically Black college or university in American history, but Smith was not finished. He later expanded the gift to include the student debt of parents who had borrowed to send their children to Morehouse. The final total approached $40 million. This was not a publicity stunt. Smith had been a major philanthropist for years before that moment. He simply had not sought attention for it. The Morehouse announcement thrust him into the national spotlight in a way that his business success never had. Smith has signed the Giving Pledge, the commitment created by Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, for billionaires to donate the majority of their wealth to philanthropy. His foundation, Fund 2 Foundation, focuses on preserving African American culture, protecting the environment, and supporting human rights initiatives. He has donated millions to the National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. He funded the restoration of the Lincoln Memorial, specifically the area where Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his historic speech. He has supported Cornell, Columbia, and dozens of other educational institutions. His philanthropy is strategic. He does not scatter donations randomly. He invests in institutions that create multiplier effects: education, culture, civil rights infrastructure. These are the foundations that build generational change. The Morehouse gift created a ripple effect. Other wealthy Americans began examining their own giving. Conversations about student debt shifted. Smith demonstrated that individual action could move national conversations. But here is what separates Smith from most philanthropists. He did not wait until he was old to give. He did not wait until his wealth was maximized. He gave while still building. He gave while still competing. He proved that generosity and ambition are not opposites. His commitment to education reflects his own journey. The son of two educators, he understands that knowledge is the ultimate leverage. Every dollar he invests in education compounds across generations. The contrast with celebrity wealth is instructive. When we think of wealthy Black Americans, we often think of athletes and entertainers. LeBron James, Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, these are extraordinary individuals who have built genuine fortunes. But their wealth model is different. Celebrity wealth depends on personal brand. It requires constant visibility. It is tied to the productive years of a career that eventually ends. What happens when the athlete retires? What happens when the musician stops touring? Smith's wealth is structural. Vista Equity Partners will continue operating whether Smith is in the office or on vacation. The fund generates returns. The returns attract capital. The capital funds acquisitions. The machine runs. This is the difference between being wealthy and owning wealth-generating infrastructure. Most importantly, Smith's model is replicable. Not everyone can become a basketball superstar. Not everyone can become a platinum-selling artist. But the path Smith walked, an engineering degree, an MBA, investment banking, and entrepreneurship, is a path others can follow. He did not rely on physical gifts or artistic talent. He relied on education, discipline, and strategic thinking. Consider the Ark, a Black child born to two educators in Denver in 1962, with no family wealth, no famous connections, no advantages except the values instilled by his parents. That child became a chemical engineer, then a banker at Goldman Sachs, then a founder, then a billionaire, then the wealthiest Black American in the nation. This is not a story about luck. This is a story about leverage. Smith leveraged education into credentials. He leveraged credentials into access. He leveraged access into knowledge. He leveraged knowledge into capital. He leveraged capital into empire. He did not ask for permission. He did not wait for an invitation. He built his own table. He built it in Texas, and he built it large enough for others to join. The question is not whether Robert F. Smith has changed the landscape of Black wealth in America. He has. The question is, who will follow? Who will study his path? Who will apply his principles? Who will build the next Vista? Somewhere right now, a young Black engineer is learning about enterprise software. Somewhere, a young Black MBA candidate is studying private equity. Somewhere, a young Black professional is watching this story and taking notes. That is the real legacy, not the billions, not the portfolio companies, not even the Morehouse gift. The real legacy is proof that the path exists, proof that the ceiling is higher than anyone imagined. So which part of this story will you carry forward? Will it be the discipline of the engineer or the vision of the entrepreneur? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to see how Black wealth is transforming other regions, click the video on your screen now. The fortunes being built in Atlanta will astonish you.